Hello, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS Small Business. Welcome to Survival Hints for Small Business. The Personal Property Securities Register. How do you protect your business? Some people might say, why worry? Well, the reason is hundreds of millions of dollars have already been lost by Australian businesses, and prior to that, New Zealand businesses, from the operations of the Personal Property Securities Act and the Personal Property Securities Register. Why have the business lost their assets? They didn't register on the Personal Property Securities Register. This is a time bomb that's ticking away that could affect every person conducting a business in Australia and New Zealand. Many businesses have ignored the registration process, but many of you did not know that this legislation existed, or you thought it only applied to big business. Unfortunately, this legislation does apply to small, medium enterprise businesses as well as the large businesses. And indeed, problems under this legislation have been felt by not only small, medium enterprises, but also some of the largest businesses. And in fact, one of the major claims being made against one of the world's largest corporations. In that case, some turbines which were worth $60 million, which were owned by General Electric and leased to an Australian company called Forge, have been lost to General Electrics under this legislation. Why? Because General Electrics had not registered that lease on the Personal Property Securities Register. So if someone that's running a multinational corporation can get caught under this legislation, unfortunately, so can you. And therefore you need to protect yourself. In the first instance, you need to see your solicitor. Make sure it's a commercial solicitor that you're going to see. So it's not a solicitor that normally works in traffic accidents or family court matters. It's someone who's specialising in commercial law, because they need to prepare for you two very important agreements: a terms of trade agreement and a retention of title agreement. And you may need more than one format for these agreements depending on your customer base. Then you need to present these agreements to all of your customers and ask them to sign them, and then you can proceed with the registration process. Now, the registration process is not simple, even though the government claimed it was going to be, but it's able to be operated on, the registration process, through the internet 24/7, and the charge is very cheap, about $6.60 to give you a 7-year protection. So some of the types of assets that have been caught up in problems under this legislation already in Australia include stock, motor vehicles, trailers, leased plant and equipment, assets that were owned by one company in a group that were leased on a hire type basis to another company in the same group. They didn't register that transaction, and obviously they forgot that the second company, the hirer, had significant debts owing to a bank. That company went into liquidation, and the first company which owned those assets was unable to reclaim them. The value of the assets, over $2 million, an expensive cost. If you would like to get more information on the operation of the Personal Property Securities Register as it affects small medium enterprises, why not visit our website www.esssmallbusiness.com.au, and we have some articles that are available on the Personal Property Securities Register. In fact, if you go to the website now, you will be able to gain a free article. There are some other articles that have been written by a Melbourne solicitor who is an expert in the operation of the PPSR, and you can obtain those for a small fee, $22 including GST. This has been an update on the PPSR. In the next 2 months we're going to produce some more updates. looking at the problems the PPSR is causing for individual businesses. So why not get into the habit of visiting ESS Small Business website on a weekly basis to see what the most recent articles that are there, not only just on the PPSR of course, but on a wide range of business issues that have been written by the affiliate firms who are participating in this promotion on matters relative to a small medium enterprise. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day.